Hello, everyone. The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip. So, do we want to talk about the fans? I mean, I'm gonna put fans in fucking quotation marks because the people that are bitching about this movie are not fans. They are just douchebags. Sorry.
Yes.
If you didn't like the movie, you're not a douchebag. Like, that's, like, again, you have valid criticisms or whatever. But, like, the people that we are talking about are the ones that are, like, in the fucking comments and message boards, specifically on Bloody Disgusting, spouting hateful, sexist, and sometimes racist things about this movie.
Yep. Yeah, so I have spent the weekend embroiled in this because I have been trying to write a piece on the reactions to this film and how, unfortunately, the discourse has taken on a very specifically gendered, misogynistic, and sexist tone. Shocking. I know,
Yeah.
You're all very surprised. Like, the comments that have been directed, and it's almost always men, and it's almost always at women and at Sophia Takal and April Wolf.
It's really personal. Like,
It's
very
really personal. It often has very little to do with the film, obviously by people who have not actually seen the film, who have maybe watched the trailer, and who have decided that they feel like this is a personal attack against them, which I think is hysterical. Because if you know anything about this movie, the only reason you should feel personally attacked is if you are a rapist or you're trying to kill women.
I don't know.
Like, did you walk out of this movie feeling like you were being personally attacked for being a man, Trace?
No,
Because
not at
I
all.
sure as fuck did not.
No, and the men that are thinking that, it's like, I was gonna say tiny dick syndrome, but I'm trying to get away from using that phrase because I saw an article, or maybe a tweet once, where someone was like, "Can we please?" It was a woman saying, "Can we please stop insulting men who are douchebags by saying they probably have tiny penises? They're trying to like compensate because then it's also reinforcing a stigma that like if you have a tiny penis or a small penis, then like it's bad."
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get away from using that phrase.
What we're calling out are people who are adhering to the principles of toxic masculinity, where they feel that, you know, very much like the treatise of this motherfucking movie, which is spelled out in the end, where men feel that women are usurping their power because they have agency and they have a voice and they're being given opportunities, like these two women who have made this film and get women out of my horror films and all this other bullshit.
Well, it's also like there are men in this movie that aren't terrible. Even the boy Marty's boyfriend that gets shot in the face with the arrow. Also, lots of bow and arrow carnage in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, carnage.
It's a good year between this and Ready or Not, right?
Exactly. That was a crossbow though. But
weapons that fly.
yeah, but like it's clear that he's fine because when you obviously like he has the moment where he gets the migraine, he's being possessed. And
Yes.
same with fucking Landon. And it's like these guys are nice, they're just being controlled, and Landon at least fights back.
Well, and I think there's a really important moment where before Nate, that's the boyfriend's name, before he even gets possessed, he confronts Marty in the kitchen. So it's right after that fight scene where he
Right.
basically says, "I'm sick of being included under this umbrella of all men are bad." And I think, again, this is actually a really, really important conversation.
It is.
Because people have misinterpreted this to say, oh, this movie is giving shit to all men, even these nice guys. What I think it's doing is presenting Nate as a fucking fallible human being. He's trying his best. He's not always getting it right. In this moment, he's 100% coming off as a huge dick. But the point he's making is not invalid.
Right, exactly.
And part of this is that this film is engaging in that discourse. I appreciated that because it's saying, like, Trace, you and I have done this so often on this podcast where we say something and then people call us out and then we apologize and we say, thank you for educating us about this.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, sometimes am I afraid to make a statement on a topical issue? Absolutely. Because I'm like, you know what?
Sure.
Maybe I don't know enough about this issue to have an opinion.
Yes, but it also means that it's an opportunity to educate yourself or to ask for help from people.
And the moral of the story is don't be an asshole. If someone's
Yes.
wrong, like,
It's not rocket science.
like just say, hey, you know what? You might want to read this, or you might want to know this, or I think you're ill-informed, so why don't we talk about this? And we'll talk and have a dialogue. This movie's trying to do that, and sometimes it's successful, like in the kitchen scene, like in, oh my god, Nate's scene. Other times it's not. Oh god, also, tiny aside, I did like the dialogue about like what the 3 favorite animals were. And they have like the ant thing, but then when they're in the closet and Marty's like, we gotta stay together, we're ants, and I was like, god damn it, you one step too far.
Just that little baby step, like the subtlety. No, okay.
Yeah, it's not subtle.
Get in, losers. This is the Lady Killers, a Feminine Rage podcast. I'm Jen.
I'm Sammy.
I'm Rocco.
And I'm May. Our podcast is a tribute to the female-identifying killers in horror and more.
Each episode will feature us, your Supreme Court of female murderers, discussing our favorite lady killers, from your Julias and Jennifers to your Carries and Christines.
We'll tell her story, decide if it's good for her horror, and answer the most important question of all: would we die for her?
Join us on Thursdays as we pull on our sweaters, snatch our ice picks, sharpen our scissors, and honor the lady killers who live on the silver screen.
No boys were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yet.
It was late in the afternoon when the professor and I took our way towards the east, whence I knew Jonathan was coming.
Jonathan Harker has asked me to note this, as he says he is hardly equal to the task, and he wants an exact record kept.
Dear Madam Mina, I have read your husband's so wonderful diary. Strange and terrible as it is true. I will pledge my life on it.
God preserve my sanity, for to this I am reduced. Safety and the assurance of safety are things of the past.
I am in hopes that I shall see more of you at Castle Dracula.
Listen to Regarding Dracula wherever you listen to podcasts, or find us online at bloody.fm.